what's going on? Joey here with The Experiment, episode 13, or podcast episode 13. Thanks for stopping in. Hopefully you had a great week. We have a wonderful 3-day weekend, and hopefully you're ready for it, because I know I am ready for it, because I am completely burnt out. I am tired, man. I am absolutely whipped. I just, I need a break, man. I'm ready for a little chill out this weekend. Got some fun stuff loaded up for this weekend, which is going to be really nice. I get to do my podcast, and get it out there and, get some stuff off my brain, which is really nice. I'm not going to get into work too much, because all that is like a Debbie Downer. But not bad, it's busy at work, which is really fantastic. So that's a good thing. It could be a whole lot worse. There are, as much as you like to think everything is, great around you, there's still a lot of people struggling out there. Man, make no mistake about that. But anyway, today on the podcast, I'm going to just kind of talk a little bit about, since it's the weekend, it's really kind of the opener is college football, man. NCAA football, you know what I'm saying? I'm a big OU fan. I'm a Sooner fan, man. I'm a Normanite. I'm actually from there, so I don't just root for my team because, because I'm a bandwagoner or any of that kind of shit. I'm actually a real OU fan. I mean, have been. It's been bred into my brain and into my soul since I was a little lad, since I was a little guy. So, lived in Norman when I was, first born. I was born at University Hospital, not that you give a shit. But my father taught school there. My brother, my sister went to OU. I never went to OU because as far as college goes and the stuff that was, there wasn't really anything that I wanted to do. They don't really teach entrepreneurship there. So I'm sure you could get entrepreneur stuff out there, but to be your own entrepreneur and boss, business school is really pretty much a fucking joke. I don't buy into it. I think it's fucking stupid. Most of the professors don't know how to run a business. That's why they're trying to teach how to do business. You can basically disagree with me. I don't really care what you say. I've just, my niece, went to, took business, and my nephew, and I'm not going to get into it. Okay. There are some smart people out there, professors and stuff, but if you're teaching business, maybe you should have had a business that was actually, somewhat successful instead of, just teaching it from a fucking book. So moving on from that, back to the fun part, football, man, football. Are you a football fan? If you are, who are you a fan of? Usually here, I'm down here in Dallas-Fort Worth. I mean, it's really split across the board down here. You're either, you pretty much, I mean, there's a lot of schools here, that people refer to. You got SMU, which is a fantastic school. You've got TCU, another fantastic school. I'm just doing the big schools that compete on the top level, and then you've got the University of Texas. I'm not a real big fan of them. Really can't stand them that much. We're going to get into that. We're going to talk about Texas because the OU Texas and all that type of stuff. Then you got Texas A&M, and then you got Houston. And those are really your big major schools. And then when you dip up across the north of the Red River, of course, you got Oklahoma and you got Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State really doesn't matter. So it's, moving on from that. But it's the opener. It's really the opener weekend. We had football last night, but really the real games are coming up this weekend, and I'm pretty excited about it. I look forward to it. I'd like to see what's going to happen, so what's going to happen with my Sooners, I already know what's going to happen with Texas. They're like the Dallas fucking Cowboys, they're going to win the national championship, best team in the world. It's like, okay, let's not put the cart in front of the horse. Let's kind of get into it. And I'm going to dive into that here in just a minute too. And the same thing goes for Oklahoma. I don't know where the hell my team's at, to be honest with you. I really think our defense is going to be fantastic. That I do believe. I do believe that Oklahoma's defense is going to be fantastic. Brent Venables is without a doubt the best defensive coach in the country. Head coach, I think he's still learning. I'll be honest with you. I think he's still learning. Compared to last year, where our offense is moving into the next stage of our team, I really don't know. And if you're an OU fan, what do you think? You should be on board with our defense. 100% you should be on board with that. And everybody's like, oh, Brent's in the hot seat and all this shit. I don't buy it. I really don't buy it. He was given garbage. He was literally given a garbage can. Lincoln Riley left us just a ball of shit, and he literally he had to rebuild. He had to start all over again. The defense was atrocious. The offense, basically, he pillaged, the offense, coaches, all that stuff. He really had to start from the very beginning, and that just doesn't happen overnight, So, I truly think this year he should be graded this year, because really he's pretty much got, his guys in place and a lot of his players in place. He doesn't have the leftovers and the stuff that was already committed to, from, the previous, coaching staff. So, and it was a real mess, because there was an article in there that he put out, or I saw some articles that were about, the state and everything that the program was left into, and it's pretty, Brent's not one of those guys that he's a bullshitter. He's the real deal, and he's an OU guy. Make no mistake about it. His heart's there. That's the only school he had any desire to come back and coach at the highest level of being a head coach. So, but our offense, Ben Arbuckle, John Matier, some of the receivers, some of the guys that we picked up in the transfer portal. And I want to talk about the transfer portal too a little bit too. I think, I want to believe. I really do. And if you're an OU fan and you're listening to this, what do you think? I want to believe. I don't know. I truly believe that the proof is in your eyes. You know what I'm saying? We get to visualize it. We get to watch it. We get to see, if, they got. You always say, "Oh, they can't be as bad as last year." Well, I've heard that fucking song and dance, because you can, you physically can, you can be worse than last year. But in reality, I don't think we could be any worse than last year. I think, if everything comes to light the way I hope it does, and I really do, I'm optimistic for this season in the offense. I get so sick and tired of this SEC shit and how, oh man, it's the gauntlet, man. You got to go up against, a giant. I don't want to hear about that shit. Okay. OU can compete with anybody. My thing is OU beats themselves. That's the problem. And people don't realize that. And that's the other thing, we're going to get on to Texas here in a minute too. And I'm going to give them their little bit of props of what they do deserve. But at the end of the day, they're fucking fans and people out there are just, they're fucking delusional. Okay. It's like the Dallas Cowboys. But, I'm optimistic for OU and I hope, and we're going to find out tomorrow, because I should be able to get a small grasp. Granted, it's not this isn't a giant test. It's a good football program for the division that they play in, but on a caliber of like an Oklahoma, it's, in all honesty, I really think we should put some points up on them. But I think what, Oklahoma should do, and I shouldn't have to tell them what to do, it's not my job. I've been watching OU football for over 50 years. So I just want them to get a game plan together and really focus and execute and just really, really dial in. The defense isn't the problem. The defense is not our problem. They were on the field all year last year. And if you can get them off the field, if they can get off the field and get you the ball back, and you can do some nice long drives and stuff, shit, you're going to see some magic, man. You're going to get some magic back at the Oklahoma program. So I think people are sleeping on us. We'll know a little bit more tomorrow in the next couple of weeks. We'll really know a lot after Michigan, but at the end of the day, if you're an OU fan, what do you think, man? If you got time for a comment would be fantastic, and I'd appreciate it. But let's move on to Texas, because Texas is our biggest rivalry, okay? People like to think that it's Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State Cowboys are really a null fact. And the other thing about Texas that makes it more is because it's been just more of a rivalry because of the two states. It's like it's the number one school in Texas, and then you got Oklahoma out of Oklahoma. Okay, so you got the two state-named schools. And, Texas, and I'm not trying to knock them. I think Steve Sarkisian's a fantastic coach. I really, really do. I think he's a fantastic coach. And I do think they have a really good team. Okay, I'm going to give them that. I'm not going to sit there and I'm going to come down and say, oh, blah, 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 just because I'm an OU fan. I'm going to be realistic about it. I'm going to be honest about it. And even all the years that we dominated you guys, for the last 25, 30 years, I'm realistic about it. Every time that we played you, even the times that we beat the living shit out of you, I never predicted that, okay? I always knew, because I've been to many, Cotton Bowl games, OU Texas. And they're always, when you, if you've never been, the atmosphere is absolutely insane. It's literally split down the middle. If you've never been, and if you have been, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's loud, it's intense, and it's just it's one of those things. If you're a fan of either team, you really should nut up one day. It ain't fucking cheap to go see it. Make no mistake about that. But put that on your bucket list and go see it, because you really, really are in for a treat. Because the odds are everybody thinks that Texas, because they've had 2 out of the last 3 games against Oklahoma, that they're back and that they got all this shit. You're not back. You're not anything, okay? The 2 years that you beat us, we didn't have a fucking quarterback. And what happened the 1 year that we had Dylan Gabriel healthy going into the game? You lost. You lost the game. You lost the game. So don't sit there and run your fucking mouth and sit there and say, hey, you know what, blah, blah, blah. Look at the record. Nobody cares about that stupid fucking record except for Texas fans. And you're running out of time, because I can tell you, you think that that OU is going to just be held underwater for all this time after Lincoln Riley left, when you were our bitch, for I can't count how many years, it's not going to happen. Oklahoma is going to be back, and they are always going to be better than Texas. And that's a hard pill to swallow. I understand that. And you can sit there and grit your teeth and say, dude, the proof is in the pudding. Quit using that stupid ass, well, look at the record between the head-to-head schools. First off, we got to play the game in your fucking state. You refuse to play in Oklahoma. You fucking refuse. It's literally been stated you do not want to play in Oklahoma. We don't care where we play you, and that's fine, and that's why we play you in the Cotton Bowl. But don't sit there and kid yourself, because guess what? All of your so-called mass amounts of wins all happened in around 1900 to 1930. Since then, you have literally been a non-factor against Oklahoma. You've been a non-factor. Basically since Bud Wilkinson got into the building, you have been a non-factor. Just stop with the thinking that you're just this big powerhouse. You guys have you've had 2 winning seasons in the last, 8 years? I mean, whoopity-doo. What did you do in the Big 12 and your big power school, and all the money that you have and all the donors that you have and all the football players in the state? They don't want to go to your school. They want to go somewhere where they can win. And where is that school? Oklahoma. Why do they go to Oklahoma? Because it's proven. Look at all the conference championships. Look at all the Red River, championships that they won, or the Red River rivalry games that they've won. Look at all the national championships. And it's not even all that they claim. All these other schools claim all these stupid-ass championships, like 10 of them, that are horseshit. I mean, they're just horseshit. Since World War II, how many do you have? OU has 7. And that's what they claim. Do you know how many they could actually truly claim if they really wanted to? About 16 of them. But they don't, because they're just, they are recognized, but they're not recognized the way that Oklahoma wants them to be. Oklahoma is a standard, just the way it is. I'm not going to take nothing away from Alabama, but they claim a lot of bullshit championships. The stuff that they did with Bear Bryant and Nick Saban, man, kudos to you. Texas, just stop. Just stop. You know what? You're a good football team. Now let's get a little bit, and me sitting there harping on the bad of Texas. Let's be legitimate about Texas. You got a good defense. man, make no mistake about it. I can't, you believe it or not, and I'm an OU fan, and I'm going to watch that game tomorrow. I'm watching the Ohio State-Texas game. Here's my problem with the game, and I'm going to give my take on it, and I don't give a shit what you think. This is my take of watching football for over 50 years. I think it's going to be a pretty good game, but I think a couple of things can happen, and this could go on both sides of the ball, so it's really kind of a 50-50 flip. The first thing is you got two unproven quarterbacks, and I'm so sick and tired, and I love the Manning brothers. I absolutely do. Arch Manning is the brother's son that never played football. Never played football. His uncles played football. Peyton was a great college quarterback, was a great NFL quarterback. Uncle Eli was a great NFL quarterback. He was an average college quarterback. Just because those two had success at whatever levels, and his name is Manning, that does not mean that he is the prodigal son and that he is going to just be the best ever. I'm sick and tired, and it's not fair to him as a player to put all this shit on his shoulders because his last name is Manning. It's going to be it's not a question if he wins the Heisman Trophy, in 2025. I just think it's, he's just going to get it, he's just going to get it. And the national championship's really his to just go out and just, it's his apple. He should eat it. No, it's not. It's not. It's fucking not, and whatever. And it's not fair to him. I think he is going to stumble a lot. I heard the same shit about Chris Sims, that we just beat that boy into an oblivion. Son of Phil Sims, Super Bowl quarterback, New York Giants, if you don't remember that shit. I'm just telling you that I think he will be I don't even know. The only thing that I've seen from him is that he played mop duty against shitty teams, and he had little success. And then I saw him come in to try to see if they could get a spark against a good team, and he got his ass pummeled, and he played like shit. So I just don't know, where he's going to be. And it's not fair for him just because he sat, behind Quinn Ewers that wasn't that good, and all these expectations. He's gonna win the national championship, and he's gonna get the Heisman Trophy, and he's on this watch list, and he's on this watch. Man, just stop, leave him alone, let him go play some football. And I'm not bashing him because I've seen his high school tapes. I've seen some of his stuff on high school, and the same thing goes with our quarterback John Mateer. Now, if you want to sit there and compare tapes, John Mateer is light years ahead of him in a quarterback status. And if you're sitting there going to go, okay, well, compare the two quarterbacks, I'm going to be honest with you. You're in trouble at this year's Red Rivalry if he does not pan out early against Ohio State. He's got to come out of the gate, on that. He's got to get that. He's going to have to get 6-7 seconds on that bull just to let you know if you expect him to produce. Because I'm going to tell you what, if John Mateer gets out there with the OU quarterback and has very, very good success, and there's a lot of confidence in gelling between that offensive line and stuff, and there's not quite the gelling at the time that you're going to play a OU Texas game, you're in fucking trouble. I'm going to tell you that right now. You're in fucking trouble. Now, we're going to beat the shit out of you. I don't know how that game's going to end up. I know that it's always usually pretty much super, super close, and it's a nail biter. But I'm just telling you right now that you're not going to hold OU down. But I'm just telling you, it's not fair to Arch Manning that they're putting all this weight on his shoulders. Now, is the offensive good? Their offensive line is pretty good, but you got to understand, did you go see the list of all the people that basically either graduated or were drafted? And most of the time, you just see what was drafted. You don't know who graduated. So the turnover was not like massive, but they did have a pretty good turnover. So did Ohio State. So How's it going to turn? I don't know, okay? Ohio State's defense, it's pretty good, okay? They're pretty good. They're going to get after him. Don't kid yourself. They're going to get after him. And I can tell you without a doubt, that's why I want to watch the game tomorrow, because I really, I'm not watching for Ohio State. Now, I'm going to give my prediction on who I think is going to win this game tomorrow. I think kickoff is like 11 a.m. or something like that on, I think, Fox. I think it's on Fox. But I'll give my prediction in a minute, you know. Now, I do believe that the Texas defense, you can hold your hat on that shit. They're good, okay? They're good. They are good. They are going to get after you. But they have weaknesses. And the one thing, the only thing that's positive for me, defense versus defense, is I like my defensive coordinator a whole lot more than I like yours. Yeah, he's got 3 national championships under his belt. And he's had way more top 10 defenses in his tenure than pretty much anybody, at least in the last 20 years. And he's pretty good at scheming, and I think he could probably come up with a pretty good game plan to help our offense out. Now, but that's just talking about OU Texas. Now, I think Texas is going to have a good year, but this going to the SEC championship and they're the favorite to win, you're just fucking batshit crazy. I'm not buying it. I would not put any money on that at all. And I honestly I think Texas defense is fucking badass. I think they're really, really, really good. I think their offense is, we're going to find out. We're really going to find out because I really don't know. You know, you had some of your top stars under Quinn Ewers, and it got the job done, okay? And you had a very, very weak SEC schedule, and you got one more year. So really you're getting lucky with a weak SEC schedule to get your feet wet. But still, make no mistake, it's still, you've got to go play the games, and you can get exposed, you know, by certain teams. And we're going to find out exactly, you know, where you stand, and it's not going to take long. So we'll know you're at. And I don't know. One second. I need to have a commercial break with a sip of beer. But we're going to find out. But my thing is there's too much hype, and I hate it too. And I know if you're a Texas fan on the other side, you're going, shut up, Joe. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Look, dude, I know football. I'm telling you right now that, you know what, every time that OU gets hyped up and saying, oh, they're the number 1 team in the country and they have all this shit and all this shit, guess what happens? It always doesn't work in our favor. Teams that come out ranked number 1 in the season usually don't end up winning the season. It's very rare that they just finish out number 1. So good luck to you, and we'll see what happens. But it's all going to open up tomorrow because you're going to find out. My thing is if you can get to not Quinn Ewers, but Arch Manning, you put pressure on him, and you can get into the trick is to the quarterback, and you should know this if you're listening and you're a football fan. Mental. If you can get inside of his head, just scramble it just a little bit, you will own him. You will own him. There's very, very few quarterbacks that can hang in there and get their mind right after getting rattled and getting their shit together. But if you can pester him all day, mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake, it will happen. It will happen because it happens to everybody. Now, Ohio State, I think they lost quite a few people. They lost their starting quarterback. He was not a superstar quarterback. He was a good quarterback. Now, this backup quarterback, he's like Arch Manning. He has high potential. Question is, will it happen? That's the question. Will it happen? I don't know. So we'll find out. I think that, and there's an alert right there, but I think tomorrow at 11 a.m., it's going to be real messy till halftime. I think it's going to be not very impressive. And if one team comes out and just goes nuts and lights it up, which I'm going to give you my prediction here in about 2 seconds on which team I think could have that potential. And I'm not doing this just because of whatever. But yeah, we'll see. But I think it's going to be messy till halftime. Now, my personal opinion, tomorrow, the winner of tomorrow's game, because I know where it's being played, I think Ohio State's going to win the game. I really, truly do. And that's not because I'm an OU fan and I think that they're just, we hate Texas or whatever. I think you're going to see some really good stuff out of Texas tomorrow. My biggest kicker is, I just got to see where Arch is at in the game and what he does. But I also got to see the same exact thing with the Ohio State quarterback too. But I think one of those two quarterbacks, and then I could be wrong, it could be a complete flip. I think both defenses are going to play really good. I think they're going to get after the quarterback. I think there's going to be some turnovers on both sides from the quarterbacks. I think they're going to make mistakes. I just think Arch is going to make a little more because the reason being is I think there's too much pressure on him. I don't really believe, and I don't think it's fair. And I think all that pressure could cave in around him, in my personal opinion. And if he has a off or if he just collapses in the game and he gets his ass annihilated, it could be in trouble for a very hard season. And it's not his fault. It's not his fault. But him being a Manning, he's got a pretty good cast. He can make a phone call to try to get his shit right. But you got to understand, Eli and Peyton can't play the game for him. So I do think that if Ohio State does have very early success, that they could put it up on them. They got on them last year, and you'll be like, "Oh, it's a different team, man. It's Arch. Arch is the man." Let's stop. You lost quite a bit on the offense as well, and you're basically going fresh too. Okay, so it's not like you have all this returning shit on offense that is, that's going to make you just this multi-stellar team. So I'm really excited about it. But on the other turn, just being a football fan, I could see potentially Arch coming out and catching a groove and laying it up on them too. But I just personally believe if it was played in Texas, they would definitely have the upper hand. And I still think it would be a battle, and it could still go either way. But I truly believe with it being played up in Ohio and in the Horseshoe, Oklahoma's played up there. It's a tough place. And just remember, don't go plant the flag because you guys will look like a moron. You'll be basically doing what Baker Mayfield started that everybody does now. Remember, Oklahoma. Oh, yeah, and Baker Mayfield, he owns your ass. But, so interesting. Good game tomorrow, I hope. I don't care for blowouts unless it's my team. But yeah, so let's just see what happens. And kudos, and hopefully everybody has a good weekend for some college football. And then we got 1 week, we got NFL, and we're going to get into some NFL too because I am damn sure not a Cowboys fan. So with that being said, guess what? You guys have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy it, and go Sooners.
Welcome to the Joey